Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So guys, I've just seen an article. I'm going to break this video down into two parts. We've got some big news, potentially massive news, and also what AJ had to say about Usyk. So let me break this video down for you. I've just seen a boxing news news article which says Canelo Alvarez is expected to face Jermall Charlo next. Now, we've been hearing these rumors now for a very long time. Boxing News is a very credible source, a source that I follow quite a bit. I follow on Facebook and I follow on just generally on Google. You can easily go and see Boxing News. They're a very big platform. I think they've got like over 100,000 likes on Facebook as well. So they're a very credible source. And they're expecting Canelo Alvarez to face Jermall Charlo next. Now, it's getting a bit repetitive, not knowing for sure. But it does look like that Jermall Charlo is definitely odds-on favorite to be Canelo Alvarez's next opponent, which for me would be great because, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a little bit frustrated with the whole situation, in the sense that, you know, people have been criticizing Canelo's resume. All right, let's see what Jermall Charlo can do. You know, he's a guy that people are saying that Canelo Alvarez is ducking, right? He's one of those guys that Canelo's ducking. So it looks like he looks favorite to get he looks favorite to be Canelo's next opponent. I wish and hope that this is what is Canelo Alvarez's next opponent. I really hope, because what are the critics going to say then? If Canelo fights Charlo and beats Charlo, what are the critics going to say then? Are there going to be more excuses? Or are people gonna say, well, Canelo is fine? Like, even in the article, or no, I actually saw comments on Facebook on the article, and people were like, oh, Canelo's finally gonna fight a real fighter. You know, he's not gonna be cherry picking these average fighters. And I was like, wow, some people have such a I don't know. Some people are just ignorant, in my opinion. Like, Tim Bradley said the other day, like, you know, look, I respect Tim Bradley as a fighter. I just have for me, because of the fact that Bradley didn't fight Khan when they were both unified champions, I have it in for Bradley a little at times. So when he says a lot of stuff, I take it with a pinch of salt. But he said something great about Canelo. He goes, you know, in his opinion, Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. And skills, from a skills point of view, he believes Terence Crawford is the best, which, you know, you can argue that. But he said, you can't deny that Canelo Alvarez has been on the pound for pound list for 10 years. You know how hard, and Bradley's right, you know how hard it is to be on the pound for pound list for 10 years straight. And he's rightfully the face of boxing, Bradley said, you know, and irrespective of what you say, he said that Canelo Alvarez faced champions to become undisputed, undefeated champions. And you got to respect that. You got to respect Canelo Alvarez and what he's done in the sport of boxing. And he doesn't get credit. People just say, oh, he's fighting European guys, because he's not fighting your favorite fighter. But in my opinion, Canelo's run has been nothing short of phenomenal. Irrespective of if he gets credit or not, his run has been nothing short of incredible. And I really hope, listen, I really hope that he fights Jermall Charlo. I really hope so. I really hope that Jermall Charlo is the next fight for Canelo, because I like I've said many times before, that I don't think Jermall Charlo wins the fight. I don't think he wins the fight, but he's a good test for Canelo. He's another undefeated world champion. But again, all the critics that have been saying that Canelo's ducking, Canelo don't want to fight, Canelo this, that, and the other. Canelo will be fighting a guy that they think he's been ducking. So they think he's ducking Benavidez. They think he's ducking Andre. They think he's ducking Charlo. So he'd be fighting one of those guys. So that would make me very happy. So I really, really hope, that Canelo Alvarez fights Jermall Charlo next. I really hope so. I really, really hope so. Because for me, I don't think Jermall Charlo wins the fight. He doesn't win the fight, in my opinion. But it makes sense. It's another pay-per-view fight. It's a fight that will probably do over 1 million pay-per-view buys over in America. Some of you don't think so. I do. I definitely think it'll do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Canelo's already worked with the PBC, so he'll be working with the PBC again, so it makes sense. He's already done business with them, so it'll be an easy fight to make, as Canelo's relationship with Al Heyman seems pretty strong. Eddie Reynoso had very good words and was praising Al Heyman and the relationship that they had during that build-up with the Plant fight. So it looks like they're on good terms with Al Heyman, so I won't be surprised if that, the deal is done pretty quick. I actually think that Canelo Alvarez could have probably done a 2-fight deal with PBC, but Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to do 2-fight deals or 3-fight deals with anybody. The reason why that is because Canelo doesn't want to tie himself down to anybody. He wants to do what he wants to do. So he doesn't want a fixed deal with anybody. He wants to do what he wants. So that, I think that's the best. When you're in Canelo Alvarez's shoes and you're in Canelo Alvarez's position, I think Canelo Alvarez should be able to do what he wants. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what actually happens if this Jermall Charlo fight does actually happen. Will it happen? God knows. I personally think Charlo is the favorite, and I think it will happen next. But we're hoping to hear an official announcement soon, hopefully. I'd like to think that, the official announcement will come sooner rather than later, because if they're going to fight in May, we're already at the end of January, we're on the 22nd of Jan, so we're near the end of Jan. So I'd like to think that, the announcement is soon, otherwise, they need enough time to promote the fight, which I think they have. They'll have February, March, April, and then May. So they'll have about 3 months. So I won't be surprised if this doesn't get announced even until mid-Feb or early Feb, possibly. Because there is a lot of time, February, March, April. There's 3 months. I can't remember, when did the Caleb Plant fight get announced? Can't remember now. But yeah, I think there wasn't that long when it got announced. It wasn't like there was a long time, before the fight itself. It might have been like 10, 11 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's plenty of time from now to the fight. But let's see. Let's see if this fight does get announced. Let's see if this fight does go through. I hope so. Because I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to Canelo going in there against Jermall Charlo, and I'm looking forward to Jermall Charlo proving how good he is. You see, I'm a neutral, so when I talk about Canelo or Charlo, yeah, I like Canelo. I feel like his run, his style, I enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I want to also see how good Jermall Charlo does against Canelo Alvarez. I want to see how good Jermall Charlo is. I want to see if Jermall Charlo can go in and shock the world. I like that. I like Jermall. I think I always been a fan of the Charlos. I like the Charlos. I like their energy. I think they're good fighters. It's just that over the years, or especially the Jermall, I think he's gone a bit stale. He hasn't really had the competition or been fighting the competition that we want to see him in the ring with. And there has been numerous opportunities for him to fight Andrade. And unfortunately, he hasn't fought Andrade. He's kind of gone down the route of Canelo calling him a horrible fighter. But we want to see Andrade tested against someone like an Andrade. We want to see how good he is. And unfortunately, Charlo hasn't been facing the top tier opposition. So this would be a great test for him. It might be a step too far. It may have helped if he had fought, someone like an Andrade or like a Golovkin prior to fighting Canelo. But let's see if he can shock the world. He'll be going into that fight as a huge underdog. Let's see if he can go in there and shock people. it's a good fight. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Now I'm going to move on to part 2. Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Anthony Joshua says that he will beat Alexander Usyk in the rematch, and he will become a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. There's been the great Muhammad Ali, who's managed to do that. He became 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. And can Anthony Joshua follow suit and become 3-time heavyweight champion of the world? If you want my honest opinion, I think Joshua, he needs to become a destroyer. He needs to go in there and in my opinion, leave it all out in the ring. If he wants to beat Usyk, he's going to have to go out there, not throw single shots and box with Usyk. He's going to have to go in there and do what he's never done before. Try to bully Usyk, push Usyk back, throw a lot of punches. He may miss, but he's got to throw punches in bunches. He's got to throw combination punches. He's got to be fast. He's got to get the jab in Usyk's face. He's got to hunt him down. He's got to walk him down, make it uncomfortable from round 1. Not go in there, go into the center ring and start boxing, because we know he can't win that sort of fight. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to be on Usyk's. He's got to be on Usyk. He can't afford to go in there and box this, cautious fight. He's got to go in there and be a destroyer. He's got to turn into an absolute killer in that ring if he wants to beat Usyk. And, listen, that could backfire, because someone as a sharp shooter as Usyk, a guy as quick and fast, could catch AJ with something, hurt him and put him away. That could happen. AJ could also gas and Usyk could put him away that way. But I feel like there's no other way of him winning this fight. He needs to throw caution to the wind. He needs to just go out there and be aggressive from round 1 and just take it to Usyk. There's no way he can box and jab, and he's not going to be able to win like that. Usyk has just proven that he's a much better boxer. He's a much better technician than Joshua. Joshua needs to go and use his physical advantages, go in there and look to destroy Usyk. Now, I do think a change in trainer, a changing scenery will probably help. Maybe he needs to go and find someone that's a bit more aggressive, somebody that's going to energize him a bit more. I know that AJ is a very loyal guy and he doesn't want to change, and he's very loyal to Rob McCracken, because Rob McCracken has done a lot for Anthony Joshua in his career, and Anthony Joshua may not be where he is if it wasn't for Robert McCracken. But sometimes loyalty in boxing, sometimes you have to put loyalty to one side, because at the end of the day, a boxer's career is a very short career. A boxer's career is a very short career, and he can't think about loyalty. He needs to think about what's best for his career. If being with Rob McCracken is best for his career, then he should stay with Rob McCracken. If being with Rob McCracken isn't the best for his career, then he should find another trainer, because at the end of the day, it's what's best for him. It's not what's loyalty and Rob's been with me and he's done this and that for that. That's irrelevant, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, Joshua's only got a short career and he hasn't got long left. He's probably got, a couple more fights at the top. Then after that, he's probably going to start to diminish as a fighter. If some people think he's already diminishing as a fighter and he's already past it, what's his name? I forgot his name. The British journalist, Colin Hart. Colin Hart, who's been on TV, who used to cover fights back in the day, who's, wrote many articles about many top British fighters. He says that he thinks AJ is a spent force. That a lot of people think that. A lot of people seem to think that AJ is a spent force. But only AJ, I feel like he's not a spent force. I still think that AJ's got a lot left in the tank. I don't think I think there's more of a mental issue since he's been beaten. And you could say, yeah, spent force, like he's mentally shot, not physically shot, but mentally he needs to kind of get over what he's struggling mentally inside that ring. When he throws punches, not to think that he's going to run out. That's a mental thing. He thinks that he's going to run out of gas. That's more a mental thing. When he gets caught with a shot, he thinks he doesn't want to get caught with shots because he's afraid he could go over. These are things that are quite apparent when he's fighting. And only he can get over that. So I don't think he's shot. Like, I don't think he's spent in the sense that, for example, like maybe someone like Amir Khan, who's physically, you could say, shot, or Kell Brook, who's physically damaged and shot. Their physical attributes are no longer what they were. That's what you call a guy that shot. Joshua still got everything about him. He's still quick. He's still sharp. He still can punch. It's just that mentally, you know, he's not that ruthless guy anymore. For me, he's thinking more like a civilian, which, you know, he's mentally struggling. And can you get over that? I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if someone like Joshua, like if it was Fury, Fury wouldn't, for me, get into that state anyway. But I just don't know whether Joshua can get over that. I'm not sure. And that's why I have doubts. Like, if he can, and he can become ruthless, then maybe he can be competitive against Usyk. But I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure about AJ anymore. Like, I just don't know where he's at. I don't know whether he can get it back. You know, I hope he can, because we as British boxing fans need AJ to win, because we want to see him against Tyson Fury. That's the fight we want to see. And unfortunately, at the minute, people are talking about Fury Usyk. Although that's a big fight, it's an undisputed fight. I don't think it has the same kind of pizzazz as the you know, Fury fight. I just don't think it has. AJ Fury is just, for me, just massive. Whereas I don't really look at Fury Usyk as that big. I think it's okay. It's a decent fight, but I don't really see it the same way. It doesn't hold the same kind of weight for me. And that's why I want to see AJ win that fight. But I can't see it. I can't see him beating Usyk again. I can't see him beating Usyk. I just can't. Unless, like I said, it's the heavyweight division. So one punch, anything can happen. But Usyk in that fight took a lot of AJ's punches, and he didn't really even look tittled. He didn't even look like nothing. Like, he just took him easy. He took him with ease, and he wasn't even troubled. And I was like, wow, this guy's tough as nails. He's got a granite chin. And that must have been disheartening for AJ as well, because AJ landed a right hand, and Usyk wasn't even tittled. Like I said, he wasn't affected. And I was like, whoa, this guy's not just a great technician and a great boxer, a great mover. He's also got a great chin. You know, unbelievable. Like, yeah, I just think Usyk's an incredible fighter, and I just don't know whether AJ is going to be able to beat him. I don't even know if Fury can beat Usyk. Usyk is that good. So I just think, you know, I hope for AJ's, for British boxing's sake, that he can. But I'm not holding my breath. I think it's going to be very, very tough for Anthony Joshua to beat Alexander Usyk in that rematch. I think Usyk may just be too skilled, too good, and just be too good. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe, you know, Anthony Joshua can avenge his loss. Anything is possible in boxing. We've seen that many times. So leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.